Welcome to this short video on how to manage stress in the workplace. For most of you, the workplace is your major source of stress. Now, it is normal to have stress in the workplace to a certain degree. But when this workplace stress becomes too great, it can actually decrease your productivity. It can decrease your success. People are going to have expectations of you, and besides harming your physical health, workplace stress can roll over into your personal life and it can affect your relationships. Being able to manage stress is an essential tool in your work and personal life. I am going to give you 10 strategies for managing stress in the workplace. Organize your workday. According to Mark Forster, psychologist and author, most people spend the majority of their time at work feeling stressed out and exhausted instead of feeling fulfilled and energized. The best time to manage your workplace stress is before you even get to work. The best way to do that is to set up a system where you put your stress at ease as you're getting ready in the morning. Don't take your stress out on people or things when you're in the car or on the train. The only person you'll be affecting is yourself. Even better, if you set up a system where you can turn off your work email when you're in the car or on the train, it will be a great way for you to distress. Organizing a day can help a lot with managing stress. When you have your days planned out, it helps to know what is going to happen. Unexpected meetings or projects, among other examples, are usually a big part of becoming overly stressed. So believe me when I say, planning is the best policy. Take control of your distractions. Work is busy, and so are you. But that doesn't mean that you have to be busy all of the time. In fact, you can make a conscious effort to control your distractions. If there are people in your office who constantly distract you, such as a coworker who has a habit of constantly texting their friends or constantly surfing the internet, ensure that you know how to control that distraction, even if it means putting in earplugs or making your way to a quiet space in the office. Being able to take control of your distractions is an essential tool in managing stress and your work. If you get distracted easily, it can affect your work in a negative way. But if you know how to control these distractions, then it means your productivity and performance will not be negatively affected. Being able to control your distractions is also an excellent way of showing that you have good self-control. Track your stressors. If you find that you're experiencing a lot of workplace stress, the best way to track that is to take a mental break or a mental vacation. Another great way to track your stress is to keep a journal. Start keeping track of the things that are stressing you out. What are the sources of stress in your workplace? What are the things that are bothering you? If you can pin these down, it is much easier to take control of them, to know what to avoid, and to know where you have to put in an extra bit of effort. Tracking your stressors also means that when you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, you will know what are the reasons for it and how you can stop it or separate yourself from that situation. Establish boundaries. Establishing boundaries can help a lot with managing stress. Many times you will become stressed when work is handed over to you that is not your responsibility, or you are given a task that is completely out of your scope or experience. Setting boundaries is essential between managers, staff members, and customers. It can be a very stressful situation if a customer calls you at 9 p.m. at night looking for answers and you have no information on the situation whatsoever. It can also become very stressful when a manager expects work to be completed by you in an unrealistic time frame. Ensure that boundaries that have been set are clear and communicated with everyone, and that there is no unnecessary stress caused by anyone. Learn how to relax and get enough sleep. One of the best things you can do for managing stress in the workplace is to relax. If you're mentally tense, you're going to be more stressed. If you can try to relax and detense yourself, you're going to be able to think better and be able to make better decisions. Make a conscious effort to take regular breaks, to walk around and stretch your legs, to get away from your desk and your workstation. Make sure that you're eating the right foods that are going to give you energy and not foods that are going to make you feel tired. Relaxing is essential when it comes to your work and personal life. Another way to distress is by getting sufficient sleep. And by getting sufficient sleep, we mean actually sleeping a solid 8 hours a day, not lying in bed for 7 of the 8 hours and overthinking. That just makes you stress more. Sleeping is crucial to all humans and is not something to be taken lightly. When you are sleep deprived, it can lower your productivity, affect your work negatively, and you can become more stressed than you are already. Using office hours is another key strategy for managing workplace stress. One of the things that you need to do to manage stress at work is to have office hours. What does office hours mean? What does that mean for you? Using office hours means you are setting boundaries, not just for customers or other staff members, but also for yourself. Ensure that you do not allow yourself to become a 24/7 support center. Know when your workday starts and when your workday ends, and ensure that you completely set work aside as soon as you are outside your work hours. The same with personal life: do not resolve your personal problems in office hours. It will affect your productivity and work in a negative way. Implement a system of checks and balances when delegating work and assigning tasks. When delegating work and assigning tasks, everyone needs to have the same understanding of what the expectations are. Everyone needs to understand what your role is in the process. That way, if something goes wrong, there's a system of checks and balances. Delegating also helps a lot with managing stress, as this means there is order. Everyone has their own tasks to complete or jobs to do, and no one will stand around and stress about not having work. Having order in the workplace can decrease stress significantly. Ensure you delegate properly and give the correct work to the correct team members. Develop healthy responses. Developing healthy responses means not looking at things like drugs and alcohol as a solution. Instead, try doing some yoga or implementing healthy eating habits. This is getting something positive out of being stressed. And not only does this help you to manage stress in the workplace, but it also has a beneficial impact on your life. Stress, more often than not, can lead to very bad habits. It can affect your life in a very negative way when handled incorrectly. Make sure that when you are stressed, you lean towards positive responses and people supporting you in a positive way. When you can master this response, it also becomes much easier to help the people around you who are also under a lot of stress. Be the positive example. When you leave a mark, make sure it is impactful. Recognize when you need more help. Another thing that you can do is to identify when you do need more help. When you are under a substantial amount of stress and bottling it all up, it more often than not backfires onto you. Rather talk to someone to help you with the stress, perhaps someone that can give you a technique on how to handle the stress, or even someone who can help you lighten the workload a bit. Sometimes when you talk to someone, they can really help you to cope with all of the stress. Ensure that you do not keep it to yourself and that all of the stress does not build up. Give up on the idea that multitasking is effective and avoid being a perfectionist. If you think that you need to be doing everything all at once, that you need to be perfect, you need to be careful. Those things are going to stress you out and they're not going to work in your favor. Trying to multitask can often result in work being incomplete or work being complete, but in a very half-hearted way. Rather, set up an agenda on how and when you will want to complete your tasks and do it according to that. Being a perfectionist also adds a lot to your stress. Sometimes perfectionists take a substantial amount of time to do a small, simple task where it could have taken much less of their productive hours. You can be a perfectionist, but ensure it does not affect your work in a bad way or reduces your productivity. Workplace stress is a real and serious issue that many people deal with throughout their careers. If you feel that you are experiencing too much stress, you should consider implementing the strategies outlined in this video. They will allow you to better manage and control your stress, allowing you to remain focused and productive throughout your day. All of these strategies have one thing in common. They all require that employees practice a skill set called attention management. There's a common misperception that we'd all be less stressed if only we had the time to do what we need to get done. You have all the time in the world. The real issue is not with how we manage our time, but rather, understanding that time management is only relevant to the extent that we also manage our attention. When professionals implement a workflow management system based on attention management rather than time management, it provides a strategy for controlling actions and outcomes, reducing stress in the workplace, and increasing productivity. Thank you for watching this video on how to manage stress in the workplace.